session, the entrepreneurship series. Welcome everyone who has joined in. We we welcome you once again. So not to stay too long, we'll start with the usual, which is opening prayer, then the recitation from the Holy Quran before our lecturer um start speaking. Then we'll go through the Q&A session, and also the Slido and the closing prayer, which is the game. So let's try as much as possible to be attentive. Um, let's make sure we jot while the speaker is speaking. Let's make sure we take few points because who knows, it could be tested. But yeah, so let's circle back. We'll start with the opening prayer. Brother Ridwan, um, let me hand the mic over to you for the opening prayer. Bismillah. Brother Ridwan, if I me, let me know if you call so you can.
نعم.
Okay, now.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
نعم. Alhamdulillah, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillah. We give thanks to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for making us converge uh, once again. We started the series last week, and Alhamdulillah, we are here again for another episode of this series. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that the purpose of this series, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it fruitful for each and every one of us. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease the facilitation for our lecturer, and we also pray to him to ease listening and making use of whatever it is the facilitator is going to pass across to us. We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to ease making use of it for each and every one of us. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.
Now, um, okay. So for the recitation, okay. After the opening prayer, I'll just do like a little recitation then. Um, but if I am, do you want to rescue us at that point? But if I am married
I
one.
think we can take it's actually the citation of the speaker's profile, and that will be handled by Sister Amina Olaiwola. So,
Okay. Nam. Okay. So yeah. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Please, can you hear me?
Nam, yes, we can.
Okay. Profile of Kolawole Oshinowo. Kolawole Oshinowo is the Group Chief Executive Officer at Baobab Plus Nigeria, providing access to energy, digital, and credit. Prior to Baobab Plus, he served in various roles at Nokia, Microsoft, HMD Global, and Jumia Group, where he was responsible for distribution channel transformation, digital marketplace growth, and quick commerce business development in West Africa. Kola holds a bachelor's degree in electronic and computer engineering from Lagos State University, master's in international business management, University of Cumbria, UK, MSc in innovation and entrepreneurship from HEC Paris, MBA from Imperial College Business School, London, and currently a doctoral researcher at the Montfort University, UK, focusing on digital economy and inclusive fintech in sub-Saharan Africa. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you very much. And also would like to say a little congratulations on his new role. Um, now may Allah keep making you go higher and higher and higher. Yeah, so let's hand over to our speaker. Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum, brother Ashino.
Walaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Nam.
Please confirm if you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay. First of all, let me say Jazakumullah khairan for the opportunity to share my thoughts with us today. I pray that Almighty Allah would make it beneficial for every one of us and put His barakah in whatever we share today.
Amen.
I would go quickly. Let me see if I can share my screen. Okay, let me know when you can see.
Yes, it's come up now.
Okay. Okay, Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim wa salatu wa salam ala ashrafil mursaleen Sayyidina Habibina Sharifina Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa man tabi'a bi ihsan ila yawmi zilzal. Today, I've been asked to share my thoughts on how to ignite the spark, discovering the entrepreneur within. And the way we'll do this is I will share some thoughts, and if there are questions, you can, as we go, you can drop them in the chat box, then I can come back to them at the end of the session. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to lay as a foundation is that for every entrepreneur or for every business person, the speed of learning is the unfair advantage. So for you to be here today, you already have an unfair advantage on above a lot of other people who are going to start or who are going to start their entrepreneurial journey, or maybe they've started their entrepreneurial journey as well. So the speed of learning is always your unfair advantage. The most successful companies today are the ones that are continually innovating, and they are covering what customers want. They are delivering products that customers cannot refuse, and they are growing their business models. So at any point, you have the opportunity to learn about entrepreneurship. You always have the unfair advantage over those who are not here. So I just wanted to set the stage on that. Fun fact, my profile has been read, but perhaps you don't know, I'm also an author now. I've been trying to pen my thoughts in books. So these are just some of the books that I've written recently. Some of them in the coming days will be launched, and you'll see them on the shelves. So the first question every entrepreneur must ask, and this is where you spark your entrepreneurial spirit. And for those who are entrepreneurs, maybe you want to put in the chat and I can look at it, is what problem are you solving? So maybe we can start on that interactive note. If you're already an entrepreneur or probably an intrapreneur, the first question you need to ask is, what problem are you solving? So you can actually drop it in the chat. Let's see. I don't see anybody typing, so I'll wait until somebody types, at least builds the cat. So what problem are you solving? Wow. Nobody? Okay, somebody has well. Okay, the problem of food and housing. Okay, the business of tax matters. Okay, trying to address security concerns. Okay, helping Muslims build the gap between elegance and modesty. Okay, security, helping students get better in their academics. Muslims. Okay, I guess that's with the first one, pest control and management. Okay. Okay, fantastic. Now let's go to the next step. Can you quantify how big is this problem that you're solving? Digital presence for B2B, B2C, okay. How big of a problem is this? Sorry, I'm going to be provoking you a bit. So it's just to get your thinking, because they said it's to ignite the spark. So how big is this problem that you're solving? Who's going to bail the cat?
Is that by size or by
By anything. By anything. I don't want to put anything in your thinking or in your mouth. Enabling ethical financial services accessible. Okay, fantastic. So how big is this problem? Okay, security is nationwide. Okay, very good. Security is concerned for more than 1 million households, probably more. Muslims dress up always, so it's a global, okay. High quality customized cakes that make their events memorable. In Nigeria alone, there are 200 million. This one is my mentee, so she already knows. Okay, so let me help. First of all, you need to be able to 2025 JAMB results show serious decline. Okay, fantastic. I hope you are following the process. And these two things are always, and I would have asked the next question, but for the sake of time, I'll cover it. These questions are things you need to ask yourself when you are trying to spark your entrepreneurial spirit. Meaning that you must know the problem that you're solving. Because at the end of the day, it is the problem, it is the level of frustration or the level of pain that people feel about your problem that they will reward you for providing the solution to that problem. So even though it might be a problem, but is it big enough? Is it frustrating enough? So if traffic is problem in Lagos, is it frustrating enough for you to solve it? Is it a big pain for you to solve it? So those are some of the things you need to talk about, you need to think about. In my own case, 90 million Nigerians do not have access to electricity. 67 million in the rural areas, more than 20 million in the urban areas. And today, we're talking about energy access in peri-urban and rural areas, while in the urban areas, we're talking about energy reliability. So there are places where people do not even, in Lagos, for example, in the last 10 years, there are locations where they are not even connected to the grid at all. They don't know what the grid is. So when they say the grid collapsed, those people do not even know. So that's a problem. Then people that are connected to the grid, they don't even have access. It's not reliable. So maybe they have 2 hours or 3 hours in a day. Then when we, that are on band A, we also have a problem because we're now paying 10 times what we used to pay before. So our pocket is the problem. So we are groaning under the pain. So that is, for me, the problem that I'm solving. That is the size of the problem that I'm solving. Then I've been able to quantify it. And it's important that you need to quantify it so that you know whether it's really a big deal, what you are solving or not. So, for example, if this is just off the top of my head, I might be correct, I might be wrong. Maybe there's one hospital to 10,000 people, and that might not even be enough to close the health access gap that we face today. Or like somebody said, she's she's bridging the gap of between modesty in fashion for Muslims. The question now is, how big of a problem is that? What does that translate to? This is what people would really, really buy from you. And that's why I wanted to start and set the scene from this point. Okay. So what's his name? Uren Levine says that, and it was co-founder of Waze. Waze, maybe you don't know, was acquired by Google as part of the Google Maps solution. It says that you need to fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. So I've seen a lot of people who come pitch to me or tell me about their business, and they're telling me the solution. And during mentorships that I've done in at various accelerators, they get pissed off or annoyed or angry, or maybe not angry, but maybe just sort of provoked. Let me use that word. When I keep asking about their problem, if I spend 10 minutes with you, 9 of that minute is about unpacking the problem and trying to. The next question I always ask them is, why is it you that is going to solve the problem? How come is you? How capable are you to solve the problem? How sure are you that that you can solve the problem? What makes you unique in terms of solving that problem? So fall in love with the problem, not with the solution. Even when you're describing your business, always describe it first from the point of view of the problem that you're solving, not the solution that you're providing. There are several ways. I give you an example. Who knows the first product of Nokia? After all, some of you are engineers here, or mostly engineers. What's the first product? You can put it in the chat box if you cannot speak. 3310, I was waiting for that. That's wrong. Paper production. Aminu Sabaya, I mean, maybe you've seen me talk about this before, but you're close, but you're not there yet. Sugar, no. Rashid Abari, toiletry, correct. The first product of Nokia was toiletry. Not even phone, not even the 3310 came in the 90s. Nokia was established in 1865 by Frederick Idestam on the backs of River Nokia. So they had made several products before they even started making phones. The phones only started in 1991. The first GSM phone started in 1991, the Talkman. But from 1865, look at 1865 to 1991, they were a successful business. They did paper production, they did tires, they even did TVs. I've seen Nokia TVs in one hotel I was in Turkey in 2007. So toilet roll. So there's a problem that they were solving. The solution will come later. The solution can be anything. You can evolve to something else. So when you fall in love with a problem, then different solutions would always come up. Okay. So I always apply when it comes to trying to solve problems, providing solutions to problems. I always apply the design thinking model. This is a mindset. Let me not even say it's a tool. It's a tool, it's a mindset that you need to have, especially when you're trying to spark your entrepreneurial spirit. Because if you follow the design thinking, it's a natural way of solving problem for human beings, because sometimes they call it human-centered design. And there are three boxes here that connects together. And the sweet spot is where your design thinking comes in. The first thing you need to ask yourself is, what I'm doing, is it human desirable? Is it what people want? Sometimes you might not even know, people might not even know what they want. That's another thing. It is when you look at the problem and you solve it, then people might actually want it. So it might be the solution that they want. So for example, somebody might decide that if we put roundabouts, it will solve the problem of traffic in a particular area. Another person might come and say, look, let's remove the roundabout and put traffic lights. Probably that will solve the problem. Again, whatever the case, it is human desirable because we need to solve the problem of traffic, right? So you need to always ask yourself, is this a solution that people want? But if you decide that, okay, because there's traffic there, we'll just close the road. let's just close the road so that people cannot use cars. There will be no transportation. Is it human desirable, especially for that particular context? Then the next thing you need to ask yourself, is it economically viable? Even though the solution might be good, but is it affordable for everybody? And I've seen people who want to do a lot of things, especially my tech bros and tech sis. A lot of them want to do things, but you ask them, the community that you're serving, the market that you're serving, can they actually afford this thing? Can they pay for this thing? Because you are just looking at it and it's common amongst the tech guys and tech sis as well. They are always focused on, hey, our solution is great, but is it really economically viable? And I've made that mistake as well in the past, invested in a business where we were focused on building the technology. We finished building technology. At the end of the day, we have not used it after spending millions of naira. Because at the end of the day, the target consumers could not adopt it. They still wanted a particular solution. So, I mean, that's a story for another day. Then the next thing you need to ask yourself, is it technically feasible? And don't get me wrong, it is not everything that technology can solve. Technology is an enabler. And I always challenge people with business ideas. Have you done it offline? Especially when you start talking about tech. I always ask the question, how would this run without tech? How would this run normally without technology? Recently, I shared with my team, was it yesterday, the story of the Dabawalas in India. The Dabawalas have existed for 130 years. Today, there are over 5,000 of them. You can go and read up on them. You can search. There's a video on the Dabawalas. And they do deliveries. 200,000 lunch boxes are delivered in 3 hours, 99.9% delivery rate, no technology, not a single technology. Imagine you are delivering 200 lunch boxes in 3 hours every day, 99.9% delivery rate without technology. I mean, there's an Harvard Business School case study on them, so go and check them out. So it's not really about technology, but it's about the feasibility of that technology. And can solutions be really realistically built on that technology? Okay. So entrepreneurship isn't always about invention. It's not always about technology. It's most times about your intention. So I say, dear entrepreneurs or potential entrepreneurs, you don't have to reinvent the world for you to matter in it. So you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You need to just study and observe your customers or your target audience. Sometimes in business, you need to build on what already exists. And sometimes they exist in fragments. You just have to connect the dots. So somebody might be doing something here, somebody might be doing something here, and somebody might be doing something here. And yours is, okay, if I connect all of this together, I think we might have an efficient business model. And boom, I'll give you an example. Somebody is selling rice in one booker. Another person is doing delivery, dispatch rider. And there are people in the offices who want to have lunch. You are the one connecting, okay, if I take Amala from Olaya Foods, and this dispatch guy that is always going to dispatch, and these people that want to eat local food, if I'm able to connect these three together, I can build a food delivery business. What I can do is, okay, what is she doing? She doesn't have packaging. This guy is just, it goes too far. Can I make sure that it's within a 3 kilometers radius so that I can be the only one that can deliver Amala in 20 minutes? And that's how you connect the dots. The clarity might not come at the beginning when you're doing all of this, but it will sometimes come mostly after your second failure, sometimes your third failure, or after your frustrations. And most of these frustrations will normally turn into curiosity. If you are not tired, you might fail, but you take those frustrations and you turn them into curiosity. Okay, what went wrong? How can we improve this? And I've seen when I was in Ghana, I've seen somebody who just said, you know what? The only thing that I'll be only delivering one food while I was building Jumia Food in Ghana. And I met this guy, he said, he's only going to do jollof. And he can deliver jollof in less than 30 minutes. And he does, actually. He can deliver anywhere in Accra. He will deliver the jollof in 30 minutes. And what he has done, he has built a network of those small, we call them dark kitchens. And it's a kitchen that is not front-facing. You can't walk in. It's not a restaurant that you can walk in. So within a 3 kilometers radius, with the dispatch coming from us, it can quickly deliver. And because it's only cooking one food, which is jollof and chicken, that's it. He has the economies of scale. He can sell cheaper. His prep is faster than anybody. And it delivers good food because he has mastered one thing. So entrepreneurship starts when you decide, I want to solve this and I'm willing to try. Okay, so it's not about invention, it's about intention. So the question is, what business are you doing? And I've answered this with what I said earlier. You need to be able to say it in at least 4 lines, or maximum 4 lines if you can. And if you cannot say it in 4 lines, then it's not yet a business. So dear entrepreneurs, every business or every entrepreneur must answer these 4 simple questions. What is the problem? Who are the people that I'm serving? What's my product? And how do I make profit? These are the 4 things any investor, any shareholder, even customers, anywhere, people that you're telling about your. So if you cannot write if you cannot answer these 4 simple questions, then you are not ready for entrepreneurship. So you need to be able to write 1 or 2 lines for each of them. Then you pause, you don't quit. So, but you need to keep clarifying these 4 questions every time, even if you are a conglomerate. I recently spoke at an event where the business, and it's in Nigeria, they are making a profit of over 300 billion naira. And I sat there and I was wondering, in this same Nigeria, one company is making 300, and it's not a bank. One company is making 300 billion naira worth of profit. So the problem they are solving is very clear. The people that they are targeting is very clear. And you need to keep clarifying this. Because real businesses don't start with big plans. They start with sharp answers. So you must have very sharp answers to these 4 questions. The problem, the people, the product, and how you make profit. And that leads me to, and if you're able to do this, you'll be able to clarify your ikigai. Ikigai is a Japanese concept, and I'm a big fan of various Japanese concepts because I've seen them try very well. One business that I love so much, I don't know if anybody knows, maybe let me test. Who knows a company called Tokyo Sushin Kogyo? Let me check the chat box. There's a company called Tokyo, or was Tokyo Sushin Kogyo. Okay, let me help. That company today is called Sony. Japan used to be like China, when people say, "Oh, made in China products are not of good quality." Then the likes of Akio Morita, Masaru Ibuka, at the age of 26, both of them, 26-year-olds, came together and started what we call a company called Sony, Tokyo Sushin Kogyo. And their goal was not just to answer these 4 problems, but they added a 4th one, which is patriotism, that Japan will now become the home of quality. And that was what led to the start of Sony. But what they were clear on is their ikigai. And you also need to be clear on your ikigai. And what does ikigai mean? It means that You need to find your fire before you fuel your product, because sometimes you will be frustrated, especially when you are, especially when you do business in Nigeria. There's no way you will not be frustrated. But if you don't understand what is firing you, you give up. So Ikigai, you see it in this Venn diagram on the right, is for you to understand your passion. And I say this with all sense of responsibility. Passion does not put food on the table. So everything needs to come together. And passion is that which you love, and that which you are good at. So a combination of what you love and what you're good at is what drives you as your passion. Then also, when you take that which you love and you combine it with what the world needs, it becomes a mission for you. So if the world needs healthcare, if the world needs good education for kids, and you love to do that, it becomes a life mission for you. So it has moved beyond passion. Then, if what the world needs and you can be paid for it, it becomes your vocation. It means that the world needs it and they can pay for it. It becomes a vocation for you. It's something that you can make money from. Then you are good at it. You know, sometimes you might not be good at what the world needs, but they can pay you for it. You know, some people turn their hobbies. Maybe they just like baking cakes, as an example. The world maybe needs cakes. I mean, maybe cake makes people happy. And people are willing to pay for it. It becomes a vocation. Then when you now become good at it, you now take good at it, you can be paid for it, you now become a professional baker. And the world needs it. Your profession now meets your vocation. You love to do it, it becomes a mission. And your passion. So all of this, if you are lucky, and I won't say lucky, if you are well prepared, you can have a combination of something that is a passion, is your mission, is your vocation, and is your profession. And everything comes together, and that's where you find your Ikigai. So dear entrepreneurs, you are not building a business, you are building yourself through your business. Because after all, at some point you will retire from your business, and you need to be self-fulfilled that you have actually done something for yourself. So start with purpose, which is your Ikigai, what you love, what you are good at, what the world needs, what you can be paid for. When you align this with you, sometimes people think about companies, they think about organizations. You need to align it with you. Does this align with you? And I'm not telling people to go and resign your jobs and all of that. Far from it. In fact, your job can actually fuel your fire even before your product is ready. Your jobs can actually help you find your Ikigai, and you might just be surprised where you will be. So the business stops feeling forced. It starts becoming inevitable. It's just like you can't help it. Okay? So with this, you get clarity. And once you find your purpose, you become very clear. And clarity beats excitement. You know, some people are always excited. And for me, there are very few things that excite me. Maybe other than going for Umrah. But every other thing, I always want to be clear before every excitement. So it's easy to get hyped about a big idea. This thing is great, but just pipe low. Hype doesn't pay rent. That is trending doesn't mean that. You can ask the people in fintech. A lot of them have raised money and the business has crashed because they were hyped about an idea, but they were not so hyped about the 4 things I said earlier in terms of even their Ikigai. So when you are clear, it tells you who it is for, why it matters, and what you need to do next. So don't just chase the trending energy, chase your own direction, and that's how you build momentum. So not every passion should become a business. Now, this is very controversial. I say this all the time, and some people look at me, especially young people that have been fired by motivational speakers. And I tell them passion does not put food on the table. As most of you will know, when I was in LASU Ekwe to be precise, I had a passion for software development, software engineering, and all of that. And I guess there are other people in my department, in my faculty, even in my flats. I mean, I don't know what it is today. They're also passionate about the same thing. But guess what? Some of them did not have laptops. They did not have computers. I mean, maybe the new generation now, they are lucky. But I was amongst the very few that had computer in my room. I could do programs. I used to design website commercially, and I got paid for it. Would you say the person that did not have a computer does not have passion? We both had passion, but guess what? I had strength. And the strength is that my parents bought me a PC. The other person who also had passion does not have strength because they did not buy him a PC. In fact, my strength was reinforced because I spent almost a year at NIIT while I was doing my program in LASU. I was amongst the first set of students at NIIT. That other person too had passion, but does not have strength because he did not attend NIIT. I was already doing Oracle from end of year one. Year two, I was. So by the time I was out of school, even before I got my certificate, I already started working. I already got paid. I was interviewing as a youth corper. I was interviewing graduates who had already finished service. Some of them were reporting to me, even though it took them time to realize that I was a youth corper. So not every passion should become a business. You need to build strength. Strength comes from your ability to attract three people: a coach, a mentor, and a sponsor. Strength comes from you being able to build your skill set and really deepening your knowledge about that domain. So loving something doesn't mean it will scale. You can love it. You can love to bake, but it doesn't mean that it will scale. Some passions are just hobbies. Some are just gifts. That you know how to crochet is a gift. That you know how to paint is a gift. That you know how to speak is a gift. It might not become a business. For example, being a world public speaking champion does not make me to start a motivational business, maybe like them Fela Durotoye and Steve Harris and the likes of them. They made it a business. But for me, it was just maybe an hobby. Maybe in some time of tomorrow, if I build strength in how to turn it into a business, then it can become a business. So before you turn it into a product, ask these questions. Can this create consistent value for people? Can this attract people beyond you? So if you are the only one that loves the food that you make, and other people don't love it, then it's just you're just feeling yourself. It's not really your passion. It's not really a business. Can this grow sustainably? And sustainability means that everything in Nigeria will happen to you. There will be no lights. You open a shop, they demolish it. Everything that can go wrong goes wrong, and you still continue to do this. Your passion does not wane. Then, if no is the answer, then just protect it. If yes is the answer, then I'll say you should pursue it wisely. Okay? Your first version, now that you finally want to turn your spark into an entrepreneurial journey, your first version will be your final form. So don't expect everything to be perfect. Just start. Your minimum viable product, MVP, is not your masterpiece. So like I said, somebody that was selling toilet roll, started selling phones, became #1 in the world, lost #1, but they're still selling phones today. Nokia is still selling phones today through HMD Global. So your first version is a test. Launch it, learn from it, tweak it, repeat it, but don't delay in building because it will never be perfect. Perfection is always a myth. Iteration is the real power. And that's where design thinking always comes in. You keep finding out, okay, what is wrong? And that's why you see the success of Windows is the fact that there was never a final version of Windows. From Windows 95 all the way, I don't know what version that we are in now, maybe Windows 12 or Windows 11. And there will be bugs, but you keep getting updates. Even on your phone, you keep getting updates or security updates, feature updates. So it can never be perfect. Iteration is the real power. And you don't need more ideas, you just need one. You need one. You need one next move. Let me put it that way. So every founder has a notepad full of ideas. I have notepads here. There's ideas to Podru. Because the problem no they finish for Nigeria. So ideas, there will be too many ideas. I mean, in 2004, we had an idea of career online, MrBiggs.net, myself and a partner. But the idea was too early for that time. Who would think that today people can order food from their phones? We were building the platform, Mr. Biggs Online, but we didn't realize that as tech people, that it was a logistics business. It was not even a tech business. So, but we're thinking from a tech point of view. We got so frustrated that we just abandoned it. But years down the line, people are selling Gary even from Instagram. So even from WhatsApp. But hey, it's a logistics business, not a tech business. So, but only the disciplined entrepreneurs will take the first action. And the first action could be one thing, one sale. Let somebody, even one person buy from you. Or somebody commits and say, okay, if you finish doing this product, if you finish making this shirt, I'll buy 10, I'll buy 5, I'll buy 1. It could be one test. We launched an ethical fintech platform that is not even public. If I mention the website, maybe probably most of you will go and register on it, but it's not public. And we know why, because we were just testing. And we've been testing it for the last 3 years. We have a close group of people that use it for savings, for ethical investment, and like that. And we know the people, they know us, and we just kept it within ourselves. And we've been iterating. And today we can confidently say these are the number of people that we have. Maybe in some time of tomorrow, if we decide to go public, we have seen it all, the good, the bad, the ugly, but because we kept it into a closed environment. So big things move when you break inertia, when you break your the inertia that holds you back. So execution is the only filter that matters as an entrepreneur. You can have all the ideas, but if it doesn't come to life, you're just wishing. Don't ask for permission to start small. I didn't even say start. To start small. So you don't need a team to begin. You don't need but you need traction. Some people say, oh, we need an office. We need to hire people. In fact, sometimes I dare say to people, you don't even need a website. You don't even need a business card. You just need traction. You just need that one person that will buy your cake. You just need that one person that will buy your modest dressing, modest fashion. You don't need, you have your phone number. You have contacts on your phone number. Use SMS. Call them. All of these small things matters a lot. So your blueprint doesn't require permission. It just requires you to move. So movement is what is key. Finally, the future is built on one blueprint at a time. So dear entrepreneurs, the world doesn't shift in leaps. It moves when someone brave like you builds one thing, one brick at a time. You don't need to see the finish line. A lot of people that started, the likes of Masari Buka, Akio Morita, that started Sony, are not alive today. But some people have taken it across the finish line. So you just need to start with the foundation. And the foundation is on 3 things: clarity, structure, and action. So have clarity of, especially the 4 questions that I asked earlier, your ikigai, the problem that you're solving. Build a structure around it. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just have something that has started. And action. You don't have to wait for the perfect timing because there's nothing like perfect timing. Your ideas is what matters, and the process matters even more. Thank you very much. I will stop here for questions. Did anyone lose me? I just need to be sure that I still have people.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
back
think
now.
I
It
think we
froze
can
for
hear
like
you.
Ah, okay.
at first, then I think for the second time. But yeah, you're back now.
Oh, okay, fantastic. So I'll leave the remaining 14 minutes for questions.
Okay, so yeah, thank you very much for um that little one. I think you've actually ignited my own fire. So I've been asking myself a couple of questions here as well. So thank you very much for that. So we'll move to the next thing, which is questions. If you do have any question, kindly drop it in the chat box and we'll try and read your question out. Yeah.
Okay, I see one question. What do we do if the product becomes laughable, especially when we are dealing with a wide experience? Can this person, maybe you want to speak? Because every product has been laughable at the beginning. Every product that you can think of. I can tell you some, even your famous iPhone is laughable because the first iPhone did not even have, it did not have GPS. It was not 3G. Um, it didn't have apps. So it's for us at Nokia then, we laughed at it, to be honest. We said, nobody will buy this. Nobody needed touchscreen. So it was laughable. Especially when you're doing with the experienced customers. Yes, we're number one. We're selling millions of phones. And iPhone launched in 2007. And I remember the town hall then. Anssi Van Yoki was like, this is rubbish. We had Nokia N95, 3.5G. It could slide two ways, capacitive touch. It had, what's it called? Uh, Email. It had Mosh, where you can download. It had all the bells and whistles. It had one of the best cameras on the phone, Nokia N95. Then they launched the iPhone, and we're like, we said this is rubbish. Who's going to buy this? But where are we today? Where is Nokia? Where is iPhone? So your first product, well, if it's not laughable, then probably there's something wrong. So your first product will always be laughable, but you just need to take the feedback and make it even better.
Yeah, we have two more questions.
What are the likely factors that can mitigate against one's first product? Plenty. You can take it to market. I'll give you an example. Indomie Relish. They brought it to market. It was not a good product. It's still not a good product, anyways. But they tried.
Oh, I think we lost him for a second.
Oh,
Are you
am
back?
I still not?
You're back now.
Okay, am I back?
Yes, you're back now.
Okay, my internet seems unstable, and that's laughable because it's MTN 5G. So, so I wanted to change to Starlink, but yeah. But if you can hear me now.
Yes, you're back now.
So there's several factors that will mitigate against your product. Some of them you don't even know today. I'll give you an example. You can start building something and government shuts it down. One government policy can shut down your business. How would you mitigate that? You just need to iterate. Okay, the government, for example, GoCarda, OPay. When they started this, it was Okada ride hailing, like Uber for Okadas. One Lagos State government policy shut it down. You see what I mean? One Lagos State government policy shut it down. And before you know it, Opay pivoted into fintech. GoCada struggled. So you need to know your why, and that's why, because Opay wanted to build a community for their super app, which is what they've done today. The ride was a what we call a use case that, okay, because the ultimate aim was payments, that if you pay for transportation, if you pay for food, if you pay for bills, then everything Opay will now become sticky. But GoCada's focus was ride hailing, was deliveries. Two different focus. So, but they started with the same solution. I mean, this is a perfect example. Both of them started with the same solution, but they had two different focus. And before you know it, Opay is here today. GoCada still struggles, but they're still there. They pivoted to food deliveries, document deliveries, but it's still tough. So it's just left for you to find ways to pivot. Your question is, okay, how can we get clients to work with? I've been finding you to get contacts. Start from family and friends. If family and friends cannot buy your products, then it's a problem. And be very clear, you can't give them for free. You can give them trials, you can give them discounts, but you can't give them for free. Sometimes we always think that the customers are out there. One thing I believe in is if you start with the first customer, that first customer would refer you, and that's how you build it. But we don't want to find that first customer, but we just cast our nets and we are hopeful that we are going to catch some fishes. But if you build a pond and you start growing your own fish farm, before you know it, you have your own fish that you can sell. My question is, does it mean that Ikigai is a Japanese word? Yes, Ikigai is a Japanese word. I can't start unpacking that now, but it's a Japanese word, just like Bushido, just like Daishen, just like Kaizen. Kaizen means continuous improvement. What's the best way to measure the size of a market size of a product? You can use publicly available data, mostly publicly available data, or you want to also conduct your own research. So, for example, if your target market is LASU, and you wanted to know how many of them will be interested in buying a product called Zogi. Zogi is Zobo mixed with Ogi. So you're creating something fresh, and you do your own survey. You know the total population is 10,000. For example, out of the 10,000 population, a lot of them, maybe 5,000 of them says they will buy. You ask them how much would they buy, what packaging. You can even decide to experiment and give them samples, taste it, and give me feedback. So these are some of the ways you measure the size of your market. Do you advise a retiree to put money into production? Why not? As long as it fulfills your Ikigai. Why not? But it depends on the desire of the, if for me, if I retire and I don't want to,